A pleasant good morning to the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis, the regional and international diaspora. Skeeter Mills, good morning. Thank you for everyone that has tuned into Island Tea this morning. Just to remind you, we are being simulcast on TVC Channel 40, Facebook, as well as YouTube. We are on your FM dial at 98.9. At about half the hour of 8, we will have the Honorable Calvin St. Just from the CBI program in studio. His Excellency Calvin St. Just in studio with us here at Island Tea or at WinFM to have a little chit chat. Just to remind you of the numbers, the local numbers. Well, the local number is 466-0989. In the U.S., 1718-285-6984. In the U.K., 0333-440065. Good morning, Biff. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Hortensia. I am blessed, highly favored, and giving thanks. What about you, my girl?
Trying to be better than yesterday, as usual.
And you're doing an excellent job at it.
Thank you. As we begin today's program, we saw yesterday what was circulating online regarding persons from CARICOM countries that are part of the agreement that was signed by our government and other Caribbean governments, the MOU. We saw that we received some folks here in St. Kitts. Upon the arrival, we then got notification of this, and of course, you know how we are. It started making circle, it started making wrongs. Everybody's concerned where they're gonna live, who's gonna take care of them, who's paying for that, etc., etc. So I'm hoping that I know there was some communique, so let me pull up one because I had one that's read. Give me 1 second, let me pull it up.
And people been asking me about 37 also questions. A lot of questions people have
So what
asking.
did you tell them?
I don't know. We'll have to contact the government for more information.
Exactly, indeed. Because just like them, we got the information
After the fact.
Exactly.
Is that a good thing? Is that the best thing, Hortensia?
I would have wished we would have known, like, yes, the day before. But then I think the hoopla that would have happened, maybe everybody would have come up there to see. So, yeah.
Exactly.
So I guess they know what they're doing. They don't want that kind of a publicity. So they are going to do what they need to do where and when necessary. All right, so we're going to take a short break and we'll be back with His Excellency Calvin St. Just from the CBI. Stay tuned.
Found the South 98.9 FM.
Unlock the secrets to a healthier you. Join Dr. Natalie Osborne every Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. on WinFM 98.9 for Weekly Dose. During this 30-minute health discussion, we aim to educate and empower our listeners on the prevention of diseases, early diagnosis, and timely intervention. Don't miss out on this informative health talk where we teach you to live your best life. Weekly Dose, Tuesdays on WinFM 98.9.
Building supplies, electrical supplies, furniture appliances, carpets and tiles. It's the company where you can get it all. All at TDC, home and building depot. From lawn and garden, the TVs and stereos. All at TDC, home and building depot. Come on down, get what you're looking for. It's all at TDC, home and building depot.
Own fast, ride smart, you're up now. This is your start. Big deal, nice wheels, just my ride. No wait, no hassle, just right. I saw it, I owned it quick like that. National band, got me on track. Now I'm rolling free. No free spread, keys in my hand. I
With Vroom, you pay $0 down, get low rates, and fast approval. Apply today at any National Bank branch or online at www.sknanb.com. Vroom, your used car loan from National Bank. Terms and conditions apply.
This is your start.
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
Heritage matters to me. Heritage matters to you. Join me, Percival Hanley, this coming Friday and every other Friday at 10 a.m. to 12 noon for Heritage Matters on Win Media SKN 98.9. Heritage matters to me. Heritage matters to you.
And we are back on Island T, just about 37 after the hour of 8. His Excellency Calvin St. will be on in a few, but as we will continue on for now. Biff, as I was saying before, what are some of the chatters that you were hearing regarding yesterday's arrival?
Well, persons are not too happy that we've known after the fact, but I could understand, I share your view. The government didn't want all the media houses and even persons who don't have fasting people who are inquisitive to be there. So it was meant as perhaps a crowd control. But then the 37 questions that people are calling me and asking me, I was in on the discussions. And
who paying for food, electricity, water, cable, internet, telephone, housing, clothes, shoes? How much is it? How long will it last? What will happen when they run out? How was it worked out? Determined, calculated. Wow, that's a lot of questions.
All of them going to stay in St. Kitts, all going Nevis. One going to stay in St. Kitts, two going Nevis, or vice versa. These are the questions being asked, and to me they are very good questions. I am not certain that we have been told those details. And hence it begs the question, why keep information from us?
Because we're going to be inquisitive, and you don't want all sort of things running around.
Exactly.
So let us get it from the horse's mouth. This is what's going to happen. This is how it's going. So it can, and then we're going to stop talking. We might still be used, but we're going to stop talking, right?
Guess what, Cartensia? In the absence of information, credible or otherwise, we people are going to form their own opinions and express those opinions,
irregardless,
good, bad, or indifferent. And hence, it's better to come out and give the information before, rather than try to come back on the back end and correct all these misinformation and disinformation.
Well, I see a little article here. It says, I think it's from SKND. It says SKNT TC. And it says, St. Kitts and Nevis has officially received the first group of third country nationals transferred from the United States under a controversial migration agreement that has sparked intense public debate, regional scrutiny, and growing national concern. In a development that many citizens say unfolded under a cloud of secrecy, the government of St. Kitts and Nevis remained publicly silent about the imminent arrival of the individuals until the flight reportedly landed in the Federation on Tuesday morning, May 19, 2026. Only after the individuals have already arrived did the government release an official statement confirming that 3 nationals from CARICOM member states, Jamaica and Belize, had been transferred from the United States to St. Kitts and Nevis under a memorandum of understanding signed with Washington. The revelation immediately ignited public discussion across social media and political circles, with many residents questioning why the country was not informed earlier about the pending arrival of the deportees and demanding greater transparency surrounding the agreement. In its statement, the government said the transfer was conducted under an MOU concerning, and quote, certain third country nationals who are citizens of CARICOM member states. Authorities emphasized that the individuals were not transferred because of criminal convictions. So I'll say that again. Authorities emphasized that the individuals were not transferred because of criminal convictions, but rather due to immigration violations in the United States. According to government, the United States provided biographical, medical, and criminal background information prior to the transfer, while local immigration, law enforcement, and national security agencies were fully engaged in the process. The statement also noted that the individuals would receive the immigration status and legal accommodation ordinarily acceptable to CARICOM nationals within the Federation, and that the arrangement came at no cost. I repeat, no cost to the government of St. Kitts and Nevis. So I'll stop there.
Well, that is good. I guess it didn't say, but persons are going to speculate that the US paid for that. And out of that, a few questions. What's the daily cost to have these individuals here in St. Kitts, or what is it going to cost monthly? Because obviously, housing, where they're going to stay? They're now here in St. Kitts. Where they know. Maybe they might be in a holding building, a holding environment, but for processing or whatever, I'm thinking, after that, 1 day, 2 days, whatever, they're just going to open the door and say, hey, you're in St. Kitts, welcome. Where are they going to be going? Where they're going to be sleeping and showering, etc., etc. And obviously, these are details persons are asking. But it goes back to, even if they come and stay with you, Cartensia, or they come and stay with me, they are going to, there will be a cost. Water, electricity, food, telephone, cable, etc. What is that cost per day?
Because that's something here. They said regional and political ramification. The issue of third country deportees transfer has become increasingly sensitive across the Caribbean, particularly as the United States intensifies immigration enforcement measures and seeks regional cooperation on migrant processing and relocation. Observers note that while the government insists the transfer individuals are CARICOM nationals and not convicted criminals, the optics surrounding deportee arrivals remain politically delicate in a small island nation where concerns over security, employment, housing, healthcare, and social services already dominate public discourse. Analysts say the controversy could quickly evolve into a major political issue depending on how transparently the administration manages further transfers and communicates with the public.
And it says that they're free to return to their countries of origin.
Yeah.
So the question which somebody asked, why didn't they go there? Why weren't they sent there in the first instance?
I knew that
They
was
brought
coming.
here. And okay, and if tomorrow, after all the processing has been done, tomorrow they decide, well, I want to go back to Belize. Could they just go up buy a ticket, go up the airport, board a plane, and leave?
Yeah.
What?
Well, it did say they can go back to their country, so I would say, yeah, I don't understand, as you rightfully said, why they didn't go there first, but who knows? They probably have reasons why they don't want to go there, and, or, yeah. There's a lot of stuff
Secrecy.
surrounding this situation, so.
And again, whether we like it or not, once persons don't get information,
they're going to spread disinformation.
Yes, they're going to speculate, and that is how we get this misinformation and disinformation, and then the government will now be forced to come after the horse has bolted
and
to try
clean
and
up.
close the gates and damage control or whatever you call it. Is that the way? And again, going back to Inside the News Saturday last, a new paradigm shift. Isn't this a wonderful opportunity to start that paradigm shift?
To each his own. I really don't know what to say about that one right there. I really don't know what to say.
Well, you know, it is said that we remember things for the next 9 days. So this topic,
only for 9 days. Only for 9 days.
This topic will be hot on the plate, on the foreburner for the 9 days.
Those folks are going to integrate. We won't even know who they are until, and then we'll just stop until something happens, then we'll start talking again.
That's another question being asked.
Yeah.
Should we have images of these so we could know who they are? Yes, they aren't criminals, visa violation and whatever, overstaying or whatever the case
But they
is.
might say images like that only apply for people that commit, because we know...
With criminal records.
Yeah. That might be the argument from the law point of view. Yeah.
But do you think they're going to share these criminal pictures of these persons who have
remember, they're not criminal. Remember, they're no criminal
in
background.
future. Well, that's the next question again, Hortensia.
I don't know.
When
we could hope.
When will the next set of persons be coming? How many persons will it be? When does the government know, hey, we have a shipment to come to St. Kitts and Nevis?
But they don't want the hoopla, as we said, so they're not going to say. We're going to know that just like yesterday when they arrive. Because it makes no sense to have all the fussing and the bussing, and even people who are not... Yeah. Well, caller, go ahead. You're live on Island Tea. Good morning.
And can we ask the caller, Hortensia, to keep it quite brief as we're expecting our guests? Hello.
Good morning. Yes, good morning, Brother Biff. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you,
morning.
sir? Please, sir, can you keep it really brief?
Yes, I will. Sorry, some of the concern that you guys just mentioned, I was about to ask that, but it will leave me to ask also, what will be the financial anticipation for the time these people will be staying here? And like I said, you answered a question that I was going to ask too. Can these people decide to go to their respective country where they are actually from? So, going back to the drawing board, like you said, this, why didn't they plan to send these people to their country instead of sending them to a country that they are not accustomed to? To me, that's a waste. The planning didn't go well. What was that decision?
But whose ways? Because we didn't bring them here. So whose
Is
ways?
anything in it for us as a people? Because somewhere along the way, some kind of expenses gonna be chaos. And these people could be scanned. And then also, look at the mental aspect. Instead they just take these people to their country, they just in another country where they don't know anyone. That could be a mental impact. And mental impact. Anything can happen to your mind. These people could be turned criminals also.
Well, let's hope that isn't the case, and let's hope for the best.
Yes, let's hope for the best. I
Yes.
agree. But to me, the planning, the drawing board should have corrected before they make this move.
Corrected what,
And-
if I may ask before?
Send them to their direct to your country
Send-
instead of sending them to a foreign country.
Okay.
And if they are not, if they are criminal by overstaying, okay?
You said they're criminals by overstaying?
No. I stand for correction. Because of the deportation, there was some kind of
Because I don't see no criminality in that. The only
No,
thing
let me-
is they
let me check-
knowingly
let me-
probably
let me-
overstayed their time.
Let me just take back my word.
Thank
I don't know
you.
how you classify. I don't know how you will classify someone as overstayed in a foreign country when they given certain amount of time. How would you categorize them? They violate the immigration.
They violate, yes. Knowingly violate. Let's say knowingly violate because you know when you have to leave. You ought to leave by that time. So they knowingly violated their time given to
And
stay.
that's premeditated. So-
Yeah, but it's not criminal.
So I said I take back the word. I take it back.
I know,
I
but
am
I'm just
sorry I
saying.
mentioned that with my tongue. But if they are not, right? Like I said, the question is, let's say for instance, why couldn't they send me back to St. Kitts or send me to Barbados or wherever? Remember the saying, no way is better than home.
Yeah, but maybe these folks wanted to go somewhere else too. Anywhere but home.
Well, something went along somewhere, and well, if they want to be incentive, there should have been a budget earmarked for them. So I hope our government gets something to sustain these people, and they don't rob them and they are well treated, because the U.S. gonna want a report card on their.
So, Mr. Welcome, just to give you the correct information, overstaying is typically treated as a civil immigration violation rather than a criminal offense in most countries.
Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
But all I'm gonna say, I hope there is a budget earmarked for them, so that they wouldn't be deprived of basic service.
Okay.
They didn't just drop them on us like it's from nowhere. There was planned. So our government, to whom it may concern, should have come to the people and said, anticipate these people for real, and this is the forecast at no burden of the Federation. I will leave it right there.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you for the time.
You're welcome. So as we continue along, as I mentioned, and Mr. Welcome did take back his words, it's a civil immigration violation. However, it can become criminal in certain cases. You can face criminal prosecution. This generally occurs if you remain in a country after receiving a final order of removal. If you have repeat or multiple overstay offenses, or if you use fraudulent documents to enter or extend your stay. So, and to delve a bit deeper into the civil violation, it says in the majority of jurisdictions, such as the US, Canada, and the UK, a standard first-time overstay is a civil infraction. It is resolved through administrative proceedings like deportation or being barred from re-entering the country for a certain period. So just to clarify and clear that up. Anything, Biff?
Yes, the caller said premeditated. It may not necessarily be. It could be that after you're there enjoying yourself and you plan to go back home on the 29th of May. However, getting closer to the 29th or even the 28th, maybe even the 29th when you're supposed to be heading to the airport, you say, boy, I really like this, I wonder if you could stay on whatever.
No, but you go through the correct proceedings.
Yeah, but he said premeditated, which suggests that sometime before going back,
You decided you're going to stay?
Overstay. It may not be. It may be the case. Maybe it's the case in most
Because you know when you have to leave.
Yes.
Before, when we had to surrender the white card when we go to the US, we had to leave by that date. Because if you didn't leave by that date that was stamped and you had to surrender that white card, you would have been in problems.
And most times when you go, you tell them, well, I'm going to leave on the 30th of May, and they give you
exactly
a month, 3 months, 6 months, or whatever the case is. So you'll have to leave within that time. And really, if you plan to leave on the 30th of May, and I'm going to give you an extension of a month and a half, there really isn't no reason why you should overstay.
But what if some of them got 6 months, right? Let's go to the extreme that they can give. And they decide, as you say, it's going well, let me see if I could chuck in a job here or there, as we would say locally. Let me get a little job. And they get caught doing the job without the proper paper and all of that. All of that could make them get sent back. So
that is indeed correct.
All right, so we'll take a short break. Stay tuned.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
You can win more with the Mega Ball. Pick 3 and pick 4, you could get it all.
Yes, playing Pick 3 and Pick 4 with the Caribbean Lottery just got more rewarding. For just an extra $1, increase your winnings by $1,000 with Pick 3 and $10,000 with Pick 4 when you play the Mega Ball. You ready to win a little extra? You ready to win a little extra? You ready to win a little extra?
Then get on the ball.
Play Pick 3 and Pick 4 with Mega Ball at Caribbean Lottery agents island-wide. Must be 21 and over to play.
Building supplies, electrical supplies, furniture, appliances, carpets and tiles. It's the company where you can get it all. All at TDC, home and building depot. From lawn and garden, the TVs and stereos. All at TDC, home and building depot. Come on down, get what you're looking for. It's all at TDC, home and building depot.
Heritage matters to me. Heritage matters to you. Join me, Percival Hanley, this coming Friday and every other Friday at 10 a.m. to 12 noon for Heritage Matters on Win Media SKN 98.9. Heritage matters to me. Heritage matters to you.
You ever hear earthquake call and say, hello, Miss Lee, yes, it's me, earthquake, I come in Tuesday around 10? No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it come, it shake all sense and sensibility out of way. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, cover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't run to the door, we are in the exit. Stairs might block up or full of people. Elevator, avoid that, because you might get in and poof, power gone, and you're stuck in that box without ear. Take cover under a strong table or a bed, or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner, and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH, drop, cover, hold on. Glass windows and doors, outside walls and doors in an earthquake, bad news. Take care of yourself. Most injuries during earthquakes happen when something drop and hit people entering or exiting a building. Last thing, nobody run outside and ask, you feel it, you feel it? Remain calm, stay indoors until all the shaking stop, and do the DCH, drop, cover, hold on.
This message is sponsored by the Australian Government, AusAid, and produced by NEMA in collaboration with WinFM.
and we are back on Island Tea just about 2 minutes before the hour of 9. And as promised, we have in studio with us His Excellency Mr. Calvin St. Just, Executive Chairman of the CIU Board. Good morning, sir, and welcome to the studios of WinFM and our Island Tea program.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for having me here.
The pleasure is always ours. So let's start right away because I know the listening public has been anticipating your arrival. So I must say congratulations. First off, I see that your program won at least 4 awards recently. So we can kick it off with the Caribbean Investment Summit. St. Kitts and Nevis CIU program. So can we delve into that a bit?
Yes, well, first off, let me extend a wonderful greetings to everyone here in St. Kitts and Nevis. I think the last time I was here was several months ago, and I'm pleased to be back, and even more so with some key updates for the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis. As you mentioned, just a few days ago, maybe a week or two, a number of the Caribbean Citizenship Program, we participated in the annual Caribbean Investment Summit. And I'm proud, that our Federation Citizenship Program swept, I use that word very, very modestly, a number of awards. We secured 4 awards, major accolades. We had the Caribbean Impact Award, very critical award for us in terms of what our unit and our program has done from a Caribbean perspective. We've won the Sustainable Development Award in terms of the type of investment that we have earmarked our program, our Transform program, will invest in. And we've won the Time to Citizenship Efficiency, and this award is our second running award that we've won in the second year. And as indicated, we've won the Crown Jewel Award, which is the Program of the Year in 2026. What makes this Program of the Year award so incredibly significant is that it was a peer review award. And what that means, our regional competitors, they looked at our standards, they looked at the operational and all the various transformation that we've done, and they've indicated and agreed that St. Kitts and Nevis sets the gold standard. And this level of excellence, after 20 plus months of significant grueling work, tireless work from where we were in terms of our program not seen favorably, the level of work the government, the federal government put, the Prime Minister and team in terms of making some very decisive changes. And then, the board and the leadership and the CIU team really roll up their sleeve and to step into 2026 after 20 plus months and being awarded the Program of the Year is really testament to a team effort.
And I like that you mentioned that 20 months ago the program was in a very different position. So what do you believe contributed to most of the transformation in reputation and credibility to this program?
Absolutely. A great point in terms of contribution. I think it's being focused, that was very clear. But we also listened. We listened to, yes, our international partners to ensure that we provided all the relevant compliance efforts. We wanted to make sure the governance that were in place. We revamped the entire program. We put significant controls over how the investments are being managed. But also we listened to our local citizens in St. Kitts and Nevis. And when I took over that time, the feedback was very loud and clear in many different channels. Yeah. And as we say here, well, how is this impacting me? I'm feeling nothing.
Yes.
And we went on a very transformative journey where we were able to demonstrate that this is your program. This is a program that has impact. When we talk about impact, not just from a international arena, but how it impacts the lives, whether it's providing affordable homes, whether it's around various grants, physical support mechanism that individuals can attest to. And so we wanted to make sure that we go through the very focused method, but not just what we say, but here we are now standing with the accolade that all the level of effort is paid off with these awards.
All right. So one of the significant developments recently was, as I said, you're so on par, was the recession of the FinCEN advisory. For persons at home who may not understand its importance, what does this actually mean for the everyday citizens?
Yes. So, and you're absolutely right. The FinCEN, if I may sort of step back, the United States, I think in 2014, placed an advisory on our financial system in regards to how things, their assessment. And what that did then, it made complexity in money movement. It made it very challenging for individuals to do banking, whether you are an investor trying to set up business here, or perhaps you're someone trying to move money between the Federation from international. So what it means really was it opens up more for international banking channels, making it much more easier. It allows for what we call family support. If you have relative abroad, which many of us have, sending money home to support families, what you may not see in the internal, my background is banking, quite a bit of banking, both locally and internationally, is the excessive questions and paperwork that you had to go through. And it was as a result of this advisory. Okay. And to have that removed now, what that does, and it's over time, because it's very recent, so it's February, March, that was then, but over time, as the institutions now are aware that this advisory has been removed, it would make it much more easier for those type of transactions where individuals can send money to their family, students and parents who send money for relatives who are studying abroad. That money movement process will now become much more easier over time.
All right. Let's talk about broadening the view in how St. Kitts Nevis is seen in this shift that we have since had.
The shift is very deliberate. I think we've said it very bluntly. We are not selling passports. Okay. There are various colloquial terms that has been codified with the concept, but we're not selling passports. And this is where I think there's the wrong impression. We are offering individuals the opportunity, and the key word is an opportunity to participate in our citizenship, whether it's for global mobility or financial mobility. And these are individuals that we make a decision on, that we feel that you have demonstrated to us the level of integrity, credibility, and you will not bring what we call disrepute to our program and to our citizens. You become an ambassador to us. So we go through a very rigorous, and said we did significant transformation in our program. We implemented stringent due diligence process. We implemented ways in terms of working with our financial intelligence unit. We work with the US, the FBI, CIA, Interpol, that anyone now who comes to our program, that we feel confident that this individual can demonstrate being a citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis. So that transformation required us to go through a number of challenges, but we are now shifting away from that. Additionally, one of the things that we wanted to demonstrate is that the investment is touching our people. And that was very key. It was very clear, when we talk about transformation is usually in words, and in our world, it's really around the dollars and cents of how people feel about it. And yes, they will. I welcome all the perhaps individuals who have an opinion, but must understand that this is an international. We are working with developed countries. We're working with in the agencies around the world and developed countries, whether it's the United Kingdom and from their foreign home office, whether it's the United States State Department and Treasury as well, and then the European Union. And so you have to be able to dynamically engage with all these international partners, but yet, most importantly, making sure that if the decision is made to allow one citizen to allow one investor to become a citizen, that our people feel the impact and they feel proud about the program. And that's what we went through over the last 20 months, trying to neutralize a lot of the negativity and begin the process. It will take time because what people need to understand, this is a 40-plus-year-old program.
Yeah.
And to do what we've done in 20 months was not easy. I mean, my team is here. I know I'm a very tough grader, but excellence is always demonstrated with these type of rewards at the end.
Indeed. I'm going to turn off the chat questions for those persons that might see. I know you reference all the stuff that you did in terms of enhancing the program over the last 20 months. As you said, there's always naysayers. They might say you didn't do enough. What do you say to them?
Well, I welcome feedback.
Okay.
That's number one. And I think sometimes we run away from feedback. And for me, feedback is a point of question.
Okay.
It's an element of where we may miss something. So yes, it will. We appreciate individuals indicating that we may not have done enough. For example, we were able to secure an investor to build over 100 homes, and we have over 100 homes. And those affordable homes will be obviously given to individual, but that's only 100 for now.
Yeah.
And so the 101 person will feel that they were not given anything. But my hope is that they look at it from a broader macro perspective and understand that this is about our country.
Yes.
And at least we are demonstrating inroads. We've listened to your feedback, and yes, please critique us in any way, but also provide us suggestions. That's one of the most important things. Rather than sit and critique, give us some type of recommendation. Tell us how you think, and then we can factor those in.
All right. So you just mentioned community impact. So, Chairman, one of the initiatives citizens were excited about was the CIU grant program. 36 local businesses receive funding. What have you seen since those grants were distributed?
No, absolutely. And thank you for bringing that up. And what people may not be aware of is we had only planned for 25. And so it increased to over 50% more, adding over 36 individuals. And this is the first time in the history of this 40-plus-year program that funds that came to the program actually got into the hands of the individuals. And to your earlier questions, for the 37th person clearly may not feel, but I hope they would see the 36 small business and micro business. And I said this before, where the engine of an economy is really start with those micro business, the individuals who selling on the side of the road, because that's where they start. And some of our most established organizations and companies here, we have to go back to the original, where the founders of these major wholesalers or organizations started on the side of the road, and many who are still around will tell you that that's where some of our local major institutions now who stand very tall started on the side. So they started at the macro, and we never know where they will end up, but so we wanted to make sure we start to invest in some of those that they eventually. And so we were able to give that 36 recipients were able to expand the business. Many of them were able to buy new equipment, also hiring. I mean, just one additional hire is additional family getting income. And so we saw that $10,000 really extended, many of the individuals. And, special mention to, we call Love First Bite, which is a popular local food vendor, actually in Neuro, the community, who was able to expand with new equipment.
Okay.
And so we hope in the upcoming months that we may be able to perhaps do another of such.
All right. Let us move on to the Bastille High School public benefit option. So recently, the citizenship program announced support for the redevelopment of the Bastille High School through the public benefit option with client referrals. For anyone wondering why client referrals was selected as a partner, what gives the unit confidence in this relationship?
Well, let me first start and said I'm very thrilled, as you said, to announce the rebuilding of the Bastille High School, fully backed by the citizenship program through our public benefit option, which we were a new initiative where we said any of those potential pathways to citizenship under the public benefit option must benefit the public. And, as a proud past student of Bastille High, this project is deeply personal to me. I have emotional ties to the ground, and I know, what the school means to the legacy of this foundation. Even, here many of our leaders, prime ministers, currently, and many talented individuals here in St. Kitts and Nevis, regionally and internationally, walked through the gates of Bastille High, and I wanted to make sure that there's a reassurance to the public of our partner. As you mentioned, client referral is a trusted partner with a proven record. And when you say a proven record, it's not words. And they have successfully delivered those first set of affordable homes project in partnership with the National Housing Corporation, the NHC, in areas for now such as Stapleton and Harrier Phillips, those areas. And so we are very confident that we have seen the delivery, and people can, as we say, we have the keys and you jingle the keys.
Shake
and
the
so
keys.
we're looking forward with the gates of the Bastille High being open, and the structures have already been put in place. As of this week, we have the panels that were brought in, and so things are going to move significantly fast. I know there was a rhetoric of an empty land, but could you imagine over the months, short time frame, what's going to happen? I would say by June, July, things will be significantly different, and people are going to see the structures in place.
Yeah, because there's been a lot of chatter. People spread information, other people pick it up without getting the real information, that the Bastille High School could be delayed or placed on the back burner. What would you say to reassure citizens at home and abroad?
No, absolutely, and everything is timing. If I had come while things were in process and I leave, the same thing was in, as we said colloquially, nothing gonna go on from that perspective. And so it was about timing, and I said the proof is in the pudding. So that, as I said, feedback is a gift. So now you can go there and you can physically see, and the intent was that you now become an advocate. So yes, on Friday as you were having a beer and a drink and something to buy, you may say something, and then by Monday you would have, between that time you would have seen, and now wow, things are actually moving, and not just moving. The level of work and employment that this is going to bring. We had the first job fair, and the second one is coming, and one of the things we're very, very, very clear on, and again by the ministers and the cabinet, and even by the prime ministers, that we must have the local individual. We must make sure that jobs and people are feeling it. And so we've had the first job fair, and people have already begun working, and we'll have a second as the pallets are being built in and various opportunities will open itself.
All right. So we spoke about the affordable homes. We spoke about the Bastille High School. Now I see there's another public benefit option on the horizon. Let's talk about these affordable apartment complexes.
Well, yes. What we have seen, and as I said, it's there's a home is a sanctuary.
Yeah.
And I've mentioned this when we did the first initial project with Client Referral Affordable. I'm also a product where you did not have a home of your own, and many of us started in the rental component. And when you have a home, it becomes generational. And so the opportunity to have a home, and again, it can be a single family home, which we started off with, But now we've realized that there's an opportunity we can build this apartment complex. Again, a home is a home. And so we have now in the process as well to similarly make sure that we now have an opportunity with an additional affordable home, but more of an apartment complex. And this will begin we'll have constituency 1 and constituency 2, and we'll expand it to all the various constituencies. Because again, we heard the feedback by our people, and at the end of the day, it's important that, as I transition and others transition into different paths, that individuals remember that this program was the one that afforded them not just an opportunity, but a lasting opportunity of having a home that they can pass on to their families over the years.
So we know persons listening and watching are going to want to know which will be the first constituent to be developed. Are you at liberty to disclose that information?
Over time, as I said, timing is key. And
Okay.
rather than just make it arbitrarial, I would want to make sure that once the construction begins, then I hopefully get an opportunity to come back and rather than me saying it, some of the
Okay.
calling listeners can tell you, well, the chairman was there,
Yes.
and now I've seen the opportunity happening live.
All right, no problem. Okay, let's continue along as we get to the investment and gateway summit and local opportunities. So we know the 3rd annual summit is quickly approaching. What can people expect this year from this summit?
So I'll speak on two things. What we have is an inaugural summit specifically within our citizenship program, where we offer the opportunity for those new citizens, individuals from the diaspora, to really come back and connect to our culture and our heritage. But that sounds great, words and so forth.
Yes.
How does this touch me? And so we're being very deliberate, where we're centering our local people, our local vendors are going to be involved. We're going to ensure individuals get the exposure, both here in St. Kitts and Nevis, where they did, we'll have a day in Nevis, and they get the taste of Nevis, they get to see the opportunities that are happening there, but also here where we'll be able to display those small businesses and vendors. They will now have the opportunity to demonstrate, and we're going to also be very deliberate where some of these potential investors who want to have an opportunity to connect, perhaps there will be an opportunity for them to invest in these small business. And so, yes, we have these annual Gateway Summit, I think it was very clear, and I think the Prime Minister, and he's very clear what he wants. Rather than just have a lot of speeches, let's just make sure people understand there's a connection of what St. Kitts has to offer. And as a new citizen, or perhaps someone in the diaspora, you get to feel the heartbeat of St. Kitts and Nevis. You get to see the local aspect. You see some of our historical sites. But most importantly, that we, our local individuals, can again feel with dollars and cents. We'll make sure we send what we call the bat signal for a number of our local vendors to come and demonstrate their willingness to participate and make sure that they are connected to these individuals at our annual Investment Gateway Summit, and that takes place June 17th to June 20th. And one thing I didn't share as the award, not only did we win the Program of the Year award, but we're bringing the Caribbean Investment Summit to St. Kitts in 2027. And so not only did we take the award, we actually took the summit, and we're bringing it here next year. So I'm looking forward to
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You are certainly welcome. So you mentioned beyond the international dialogue, how does I think we just spoke about that, but I'll still ask, how does the IGS create opportunities for local businesses and entrepreneurs?
Yes. And again, as you said, we touched on the opportunity of having local individual small business display. But I think also we're going to be very deliberate. One of the key things our program and with our international partners is civic education. And civic education is not just learning about St. Kitts and Nevis, but how do you invest? Yes. How do we offer individuals who those philanthropic organization who really are trying. Our creative economy is very important. We have very wealthy individuals, and they travel around the world, and they ask these questions. They said, I've become I've become a citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis, and I want to. And so we're using this as an opportunity to say, well, come at our annual Investment Gateway Summit. And here we're going to meet potential opportunities, whether it's a micro business or small business. And you have the means, invest, grow that connection. And so these are where we will want to make sure, and even just even the nightlife, we will make sure individuals see the local side of things, and that will also have some dollars and cents invested into the community.
Indeed, indeed. So, Chairman, when you look at everything that has happened, from international recognitions, as you said, we have taken one particular award twice, consecutively, community initiatives, housing projects, and upcoming opportunities. What message would you like to leave with the people of the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis?
Absolutely. It's a message of impact. I think that is where we start with. We transform the program so that it will have impact on the international arena to demonstrate that St. Kitts and Nevis Citizenship Program is not just the first, we're not just the longest, but there's an impact of what we do. And so we wanted to make sure that we demonstrate the sustainability of the program, but also that what we are doing has some level of civic impact on the community. It makes no sense to have this program, and we do not see in the next 3, 4, 5 years the impact. And that has been the architect. If there's no impact, then I have failed. And as you said, they're very critic, and that's where to sit here and say in 20 months you can deliver 100 homes, you have an apartment complex, over 36 small businesses expanded. That is a testament of what the federal cabinet indicated and driven by the Prime Minister, that I need a transformation. And I need to make sure I see immediate impact. And today, in such short order, as we said, we have the FinCEN, which is a major for our financial institution. We have the Basti High, that many of us had some concerns about, and now we are confident. And we have small businesses, individuals who can attest it. So the message is really around, this is your program. Please provide those feedback. Tell us what we are not doing and how we can do better. And we will always continue to make sure we listen to our people to ensure that this program is impacting their lives. So I wanted to just make sure that that's my final statement on this.
Well, I hope in the 20 months you got a vacation and you got some rest, because from what I'm hearing and from what I'm seeing, you deserve it.
Thank you very much.
All right. So the pleasure was ours having you here in our studios today at WinFM and on Island T. And I look forward to many more conversations, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you again. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
What are you doing?
She said, drink a rude boy, I will do the work. You don't have to wind up yourself. You don't have to wind up yourself. Oh. She said, drink a rude boy, I will do the work. You don't have to wind up yourself. You don't have to wind up yourself. Oh. Cause when we out and we active, living we life. So when we drink, we drinking. Rude boy. So when we drink, we drinking. Rude boy. Oh, Miss Lady. Anyway, you see we building up our vibes. So when we drink, we drinking. Rude boy. So when we drink, we drinking. Rude boy. Why?
Don't throw those bottles away. Turn them into money today. Vitamalt bottles equal cash in your pocket. It's super easy. Just take those empty Vitamalt bottles to any Cara Brewery distribution truck or any drinks depot in St. Kitts and Nevis. We're keeping our beautiful Twin Island paradise clean. Vitamalt bottles equal cash back. Keep it clean, keep it green. Vitamalt bottle returns. Your bottles, your cash, your island.
Here are your Horsford's Value Mart IGA Blue Tag Specials.
Running May 14th to May 27th.
Nutella hazelnut spread is just $18.99. Essential everyday cream cheese bars just $7.99. Celeste pizza single serve $6.99. Morning Star meatless entrees just $19.99. Almond breeze almond milk $9.99. Suavitel liquid fabric softener just $21.05.
And now our value deals. Essential everyday pasta sauce $9.99. Essential everyday pastas $4.99. Essential everyday cereals $10.99. Essential everyday ice cream cones $7.99. Essential everyday freezer bags $8.99. Soft soap body wash $19.99. Shop smart, shop value mart. Tell them in Spanish.
Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en Value Mart.
Shop smart, shop value mart.
Rams the good food people always there to serve you. Rams the good food people locations right near you. Rams the good food people in store specials for you. Rams the good food people.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Building supplies, electrical supplies, furniture appliances, carpets and tiles. It's the company where you can get it all. All at TDC, Home and Building Depot. From lawn and garden, the TVs and stereos. All at TDC, Home and Building Depot. Come on down, get what you're looking for. It's all at TDC, Home and Building Depot.
Found the sound. 98.9. Win FM.
Old fast, bright, smart, you're up now. This is your start. Big deal, nice wheels, just my ride. No wait, no hassle, just right. I saw it, I owned it quick like that. National band, got me on track. Now I'm rolling free, no free spread. Keys in my hand, I feel blessed.
With Vroom, you pay $0 down. Get low rates and fast approval. Apply today at any National Bank branch or online at www.sknanb.com. Vroom, your used car loan from National Bank. Terms and conditions apply.
This is your start.
And it's just about 31 minutes after the hour of 9. We are back here on Island T as... Okay, caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T. Good morning.
Morning to everybody. Greetings once more in Jesus Christ's name. The only Savior sinners from the sins and from hell. By the gospel only, true faith only, in Jesus only. Now, first of all, I would like to say, concerning the discussion that you had this morning before the interview. Now, people ask, as you have said, and you and Biff has said, what is the cost to the government, to provide for the people who are coming here? And we just also ask that for other issues as well. What is the cost to the government? And the government like to use that question as well. This is the cost to the government and that sort of stuff. But that's really a wrong question. It's a very wrong question, a misleading question, and government love when we ask that question because they do not really want you to know who the cost really goes to. The right question is, and the proper question is, what is the cost to us taxpayers? Because government ain't got no money. It is the taxpayers' money that they're using, not their money. So we should be cognizant of that. We should know that is the right question. What is the cost to us taxpayers? Because all the government use in the end is taxpayers' money, our money. Now, secondly, another thing, to say that we should rely on government, because even the article you read earlier on, either you have it read earlier on, it kind of ended by saying, just rely on the government for the right information. Well, government love that. Government love that because they love to easily fool the people and control the people. One should always, the right thing to do, one should always do as much research that they can do and come to your own conclusion, because government are the biggest liars and deceivers. They are the biggest liars and deceivers, and one should never, for anything whatsoever, just solely rely on the government for your information.
Okay,
You
so you said they're the biggest liars. Are they telling a lie, or are they telling you what you want to hear, and when the result isn't what you expect, then it becomes a lie?
No, it's both. They're telling you what you want.
Because then I would say it become deceptive, but I won't say they're lying. They're telling you what you want to hear at the moment.
We want to hear lies. We want to hear lies. We want to hear what is good. Why you think they're
Exactly.
We want to hear the lies.
No, who wants to hear lies? Greg, if I tell you I'm going to cook you some food today and you come and no food there, then I deceived you. But I wasn't lying to you. I intended to cook, but I didn't get the chance to, or I just decided I ain't cooking at all.
Yeah, but if you know you can't do it, and you know you ain't got the means to do it, but yet you promise me, you're lying to me. And
But
that's what government
what
does.
if we didn't expect that we won't have the means to do it? Because that's why I said in previous conversations, when we campaigning, we should know we're working with over at the Treasury building, so that when we make all these promises and we go in, we could fulfill. Because not being the government, of course they're going to keep that from us, so we won't know unless we have a little peep in there. But I mean, I don't think it's lies. I just think it's hope, wishful promises that eventually don't come into fruition because the resources are not available.
Yeah, but a lot of times I believe they know the resources are not available, and they still promise.
But how would they know if they're not in the thing?
Well, even those who are in the thing, they know that is what's going to keep them, get them votes.
Oh,
so they
boy.
lie to you even though they know.
Oh, boy.
That, hey, it is not the thing.
Okay.
You can't go with government, no. You cannot go with them. They ain't just that, but even other thing, because what really wake up me, I knew it before, what really wake me up a ton load to it. A lot to that fact is that when COVID was on, they knew a lot of stuff. What they were saying was not so, because they knew there were studies and so on that were contrary to them. But because they wanted to scare people to take the vaccine and all kind of stuff, they said things that they knew were not true, which are coming out more and more as time goes on to be lies on the government part and government part and other official bodies part. You cannot go with them. COVID opened my eye a lot. One of the stations in St. Kitts that was sort of bucking the government information at the time on COVID, you had one of them, which was Freedom, and like I said, you need to do your own research, because even the government at the time, and governments at the time, including the one here at the time, was saying, hey, don't do your research. Just rely on what we're telling you. Do not do your research. And if you do your research, you're going to get fooled. But just listen to with the government, because we ain't fooling you.
Okay.
As time goes on, we know that they were lying. And they were deceived.
Okay. All right, so we have a next caller.
Yes, so thank you for your time.
All right, Greg, thank you so much. All right, all the time. Caller, good morning. All right, so that caller can always call back. Okay, caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T. Good morning.
Good morning, Katensia. Forgot the name, right? Good morning.
Yes,
How are
you
you
did.
today?
How are you? I'm good, thanks.
I hear Mr. Richard reading out something yesterday about Mr. Dwyer after Frank. I think Mr. Dwyer don't have the time and he needs to leave the politicians them alone and let them do what they got to do because the devil in hell have followers. You can't put nobody against somebody right now. For real.
I like
The
that.
devil
The
have
devil in hell have
followers.
followers. Yeah.
Don't care how bad you be.
Uh-huh.
People gonna still support you and then like you, all the party them gonna get the supporters.
Mhm.
But it's just who the better one will win.
But don't you
And we
think
don't want
that he's trying to ensure that they don't make the same mistakes they made before?
look here.
Mm-hmm.
People make mistakes over and over and
Mhm.
still can't get it correct.
So you
You
would,
understand?
so so you would prefer him to not say anything and let them make the mistake until they
He
can't
to
take it no
leave the
more.
politician them alone because he done mash up labor.
Oh Lord.
He joined unity. He
Uh-huh.
mash it up. And he coming back again now with the either election. Come on.
But you know, a
And
politician
then
will always be a politician, right?
but he needs to relax for the
No.
age. He needs to just cool out.
Okay.
Let the people them do what they got to do. Sean is a young man.
Yes.
Dr. Joe and Timothy Harris.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to leave the politicians them alone, the street political party and think it. And I don't. So you them need to relax. Look how much thing is about labor when he leave them. Doggy and all of them. Attacking over and do this. Come on, do you relax yourself. You don't send your forces go resting early matter already. Leave the people them alone.
Oh Lord.
You understand? And that's all I gotta say.
Okay.
Devil in hell have followers.
Have followers.
Labor gonna get the people.
Mhm.
Come and PLP.
All right.
Lawyer, leave people alone. You don't do what you have to do, good, bad, and the ugly. Leave them alone. Let the country roll on. Who people want to, and right now, you're not cutting here.
Uh-huh.
We could say all what we want. So I tell you, as bad as they talk about Timothy and the girls talk about Dougie,
Mhm.
and so all of them got different.
Exactly.
People have followers.
Yeah.
You understand? So do you relax yourself, man. It's going on up the one in Nevis now, man. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Party alone.
Thank you, caller. All right. Caller, go ahead. You're live on Island Tea. Good morning.
Good morning, guys.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you, Cousin?
Yeah, I'm trying to be good myself.
Okay. Now, to your first topic, you were talking about the deportees.
Yes, ma'am.
My thing is, why is it they cannot go back to Jamaica and the other countries? Why they want to come to our country? What did they do in their country that they cannot go back there?
That's the next question.
Or they're afraid to go back to their country. What did they do there? And to say they do due diligence and they this and they that. We know when our government said they do due diligence, it really don't amount to squat.
Oh, Lord.
You know, they're lying to us. They don't do no due nothing.
So you believe government lies to us too and is just not
Yes,
that?
they lie to us
Okay.
all the time. You see that word due diligence?
Uh-huh.
How much time we have proven? Remember with the same passport issue when they say they do due diligence and then we have all kind of people.
Mm-hmm.
That scrupulous people having our passport. Where was the due diligence?
Oh boy.
Huh?
Oh boy.
So you know that due diligence don't mean nothing. They're lying to us.
Mm-hmm.
Because these people that are coming to our country, they have proven that they cannot abide by law. And if they cannot abide by a little law that said that you were granted time in a country and you're supposed to leave at this time, you couldn't abide by that law. Are they going to come to our country and abide by our laws?
Yeah, we have to think
They have
about that.
proven to the law that they don't obey laws.
Yeah. But maybe they won't want to stay by us because I know people who would have gotten sent out the States so much and they make it back there.
But if that's the thing, if you're deporting me, the first thing I just said, send me back to my country.
Mm-hmm.
That is where I'm expected to go.
Yeah, because I'm more familiar with that.
What did you say, Contentia?
Because I'm more familiar with my country.
Exactly. I'm not going to tell you deport me to Jamaica or any other Caribbean island. Send me to my country. That's where I'm expected to go. That's my place of birth. And I don't see why would you want to think it's a pit stop for you to come stop and then go back to your country. Why not go straight to your country?
Maybe you want to see what here has to offer, and then I would like to be behind the scenes to know how it goes from where you are, Cleo, because it leaves a lot to the mind to question, and it leaves a lot of unanswered questions. Because as you rightfully say, I would say send me back to Guyana. I'm familiar with Guyana. You would say send me back to St. Kitts. You're familiar with St. Kitts. So I would like to know what is behind that.
You have to wonder what did they do in their country that they don't want to go back there. And they have proven, like I said, to not obey laws. They couldn't obey one little rule. Go back. You spend the time, leave.
But what if, too, it's not only that? Remember, as I mentioned to Cleo, what if they, we normally used to get 6 months. And in that 6 months, I said, let me hold a little walk now. Let me go cook in a kitchen. And you've pissed off somebody that from up there. And they go call them and say, oh, contents in the kitchen over there. So you still have time.
That's another law that breaks too.
Yeah,
because
that you
if
break.
You come on a visa, you're not allowed to work.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
that's a rule you're breaking also. So you're proving you cannot abide by rules.
Yeah.
Now come to your visitor that you had on. No, he said, "Oh, we're not selling our passport." Yes, we are. We are selling our island. Because a lot of these people that have our passport, they don't have our passport because they still want to invest in our country or they have such great interest in our country. They have our passport because it's convenient to them that they can travel on it to places that they cannot travel on their birth passport. Keep it real.
And you just did. You just did.
Don't try to fool us and tell us, oh, they want to invest in our country and lie. They're using us.
Oh boy.
They're using our passport because that's the only way they could leave their country and come to America and other places where they want to go.
So go ahead, Cleo. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
And your guess. This is the thing with these government officials. When you come, but you want to come with your mouth smooth like butter. But yet you fear to face the public and answer some questions. Don't bother come. Because if the public cannot ask you questions, why you bother come? You're not fooling anybody. And he comes down with shake your key. Didn't the Labour try that old gimmick already? Take your key. The next thing they're going to tell the people national that they're behind again because they seem to come with the same old gimmick.
Boy, Cleo's not having it today. Yeah. Biff say you're in spanking form. You're not having it today at all.
Not at all. Nonsense.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
You too. And we see but can we really handle the truth as a people? Because we see sometimes when people come out and tell us the truth, our whole emotional psyche gets messed up. We don't know what next to think. We need a little break. We go and we think we make the next best decision, which is oftentimes not good for us. I know this government campaign on transparency, and a lot of times I hear persons saying, what transparency? They don't tell nobody nothing. You find out afterwards. They promise this, they promise that. Me ain't voting for nobody next elections. Not me. Nobody could get me to get up on my bed to do this, to do that, because they said this. I'm suffering under this. I ain't seeing no this, I ain't seeing no that. How can politicians restore in people faith when it comes to believing what they're going to say, bringing it into fruition the way they say it was going to come into fruition, and not say, oh, it's working, you have to wait, things take time. And we all know that, because we know if you're building a house, we can't start the house today and go in it tomorrow unless you want it to fall down, especially with concrete, because that has to dry. But how long does this fruition take? And that's why I say I would love to be a fly on the wall or behind the scenes to have all the answers to the questions that I may have and those of us may have, and we get them answered. Because I wonder what keeps them from being afraid of telling the truth. We have the phrase that says the truth shall set you free. But how many times does the truth set politicians especially free? Because you're trying to you're employed by the people, so you are an employee, but you're trying to please them whilst still trying to hold to the rules, the regulations, the policies, and everything else that define government. Caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T. Good morning. Okay, we lost that caller. We have a caller. Caller's back?
No curtains here, but in my view, they are could one say they are varying degrees of lies? If I tell you something...
A lie is a lie.
Yeah, but if I...
Should it be a little white lie?
You have mistruths and whole truths and part truths.
But it should be the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
But if I say
That's what they asked us to say in the doing the court.
If I say something to give you the impression that it's a red bus, when it's actually not a red bus, it might be a red car. Am I not lying to you? Because you'll form the impression
yeah, I'm expecting a bus.
Exactly. So I led you to believe something different from the actual situation. Am I not lying to you?
Yeah, but in politics, can I say you're lying to me? As I said, when I don't know what I'm working with, but I'm going to paint you these promises because, of course, I want to be employed by you. I want to be your employee. I want to work for you. I want to work for the Federation for the next however long. I am going to give you promises with hopes that I can fulfill them. And when I can't fulfill them, I should be able to come and tell you, look, I am not going to get this work in this time. Give me some time. So if you give me the next 4 more, I guarantee you in the 8 years, I will try my best to ensure that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 come into fruition. And if it doesn't, you hold my feet to the fire for the entire time, I promise you, so that we can all see through together. Caller, good morning. You're live on Island T.
Good morning, Cortez here.
Hi, how are you?
Fine. I think that persons are very correct in having a healthy skepticism of government, okay? Because generally speaking, government cannot be trusted. Not here, not anywhere.
Nowhere.
Because a lot of the complaints we have here, they have elsewhere, you hear it elsewhere as well.
Yeah.
No transparency, no openness, always secretive.
But why campaign on it if you know, especially transparency? That one. Why campaign on it when you know that it can sometimes be impossible to fulfill in politics?
Well, first of all, it is not impossible to fulfill. It isn't, right?
Okay.
Especially in a country like ours, we don't have no huge national security apparatus or CIA or NSA or any one of those things that demand this kind of secrecy. That's the first thing. And secondly, as someone pointed out, they tell us what we want to hear. It is not they don't know any better, you know. But when they get in there, they don't do better. And so citizens should, in fact, have a healthy skepticism, as I said.
So why you think is it, Mr. McMahon, that they don't do better?
Because it's more convenient for them. Okay, for instance, you think that the Office of the Prime Minister would like details on its spending, for instance, open to the public? It should be. It's public funds.
Yeah.
But you think they would want to do that?
Because we don't question everything.
Not only that, there are things there that they know the public will object about, and so they think it's easier to keep it secret. Okay? And it's the same reason they don't have the Public Accounts Committee. They don't want the scrutiny, right? When they're in government, when they're in opposition. But actually, even when they're in opposition, they don't want the scrutiny, you know. you heard, for instance, the blowback when Sean Richards, when the commentary was was made about Pam and Sean Richards, and they're in opposition,
Mhm.
and they are objecting even before they get into government,
Mhm.
being open and transparent and inviting
Mhm.
input from the public, right? So
Mhm.
even there, right? And by the way, I well, call it enlightened self-interest, but I don't subscribe to this ageism thing because Mr. Astafan is who he is,
Mhm.
how old he is, his experience in government and so on. He's still a citizen.
Mhm.
And why shouldn't he express an opinion on
Mhm.
anything,
Yeah.
right? So I disagree totally with that. And
As I
actually,
asked the caller, even if it will make them better or make better choices, but the caller was adamant he needs to just leave them be and let them work their maths out.
experience counts,
Yeah.
right? I mean, a lot of young people today do not have the memories or the experiences of older folk, and so they'll go and repeat the same mistake. So you get input from the older folks so that you don't repeat. You're not condemned to repeating the same old mistakes. But I'd also like to say, I was very disappointed in Sean Richards yesterday in the way he went after via Asfan. You know, we all know Mr. Asfan to be a straight shooter, you know. He don't hesitate to say what he feels.
Yes.
But, and so he probably would not invoke much sympathy from the public. Some people might say, well, he gets what he deserves. He always talking about somebody else. So what if somebody talks about him? But I think that Sean's response was not becoming someone who is a member of parliament and who still, as long as you're a member of parliament, you still can become a national leader, right? It is not befitting that. I didn't think the response befitted that at all. And I was really more surprised. I didn't think it did either his candidacy or his party any good. Maybe he fed off of the press release by his party when they basically said, you know, stop going after washing your mouth on Sean Richards and Pam, etc., etc.
Yeah.
And he fed off of that, you know. But it was not, to me, it was not his finest moment. And,
Yeah.
I always wonder, these politicians, don't they have a sounding board that you can bounce things off of before statements and so before you go and make them?
But
because they just keep putting their foot in their mouth. I don't know why.
But as politicians, should, unless it's detrimental to their demeanor, don't you think it should be like water running off duck back? Because once you are in the public purview, you're going to be condemned, you're going to be criticized, etc., etc.
Well, up to a point.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
There are some people who are definitely thin-skinned. Absolutely. And some are very vindictive, right?
Yeah.
Those are the ones who really should not have in office. But
do we know they are thin-skinned, though, until these things arise? So you see, there's a lot of things.
That's why I say they should have a sounding board for comments and so on that they're going to make, because you know it's not. Most times politicians surround themselves with their own echo chamber, people who tell them what they want to hear, or things like them, and there's no alternative to what they put out there. Okay, and as a result of that, they will make mistakes.
Yeah.
Right? But to your point, though, I feel there are some things that you should respond to, because if things are libelous or things are downright downright untruthful, of course you respond to that.
Yeah.
But the usual run-of-the-mill things, you why you don't fix the road? Don't come tell me. Well, we met the road like that.
Yeah.
You know, that's unacceptable.
Yes, exactly.
And there's too much of that, I think, right now. And it really needs to stop. That new paradigm we spoke about. You know, someone said that would be a good way to start it by showing, for instance, this thing with the people coming in from not refugees, what you call them? Deportees.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, what's in that to hide? Could you tell me?
But you don't think it would have been a big fiasco at the airport yesterday if they had known when these people were coming?
No. Why do you think so?
Because I think everybody would have come up.
People would have met them protesting. Why do you think it would have been a fiasco?
That could have been one of the things, because, you know, we want to know why. Who supporting them, whatever. It could have been a protest. It could have been the airport line with people who weren't even supposed to be up there yesterday. Journalists, people who are pretend journalists. Everybody would have been up there with a phone yesterday.
But that, I don't think that would have been so, by the way, because everybody already know that we had signed this MOU on this thing.
Yeah.
But apart from that, even if it had happened, so what? We're a democracy, right? And people have a right to voice their thing, their opinion.
You are correct.
Their feeling, right? And if they had given us details and so on before, it would have been a non-entity and nothing burger, so to speak. Because we already have the information, we already marinated and already voice our concerns and whatever else, and it would not be a big issue.
Yeah,
but this secretiveness, I honestly don't understand. It's really, to me, it's just disgusting and disrespectful to the people you're supposed to be serving, that you keep information that should be public away from them.
Yeah.
Total disrespect and arrogance.
All right.
That's what I think.
All right, thank you so much for your contribution, Mr. McMahon. And this is where we will wrap up Island Tea for today. To those of you who watch, to those of you who listen, thank you for tuning in today. And always, it was indeed a pleasure having you here with us this morning. God spare, see you on Friday. Have yourselves a wonderful hump day as we proceed to the weekend. Keep doing good. And keep, keep on keeping on. Oh, and condolences. Today is the final encore for the late lead singer. Yes, Jermaine Chubby Clark. So the celebration of his life will conclude today. So condolences, Mr. Clark and Miss Clark and all the family members, to his daughter, everyone whose lives he would have touched. Condolences on behalf of us here from WinFM and the Island Tea team. I guess we'll see him on the other side.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win